Adnan, today I'm going to talk to you about the spirituality of leadership. I have a word for it. It's called caliber. The spirituality of leadership is a different concept, and that's a concept which works. Because what a leader is really is somebody who you look at and you automatically respect, you automatically look up to, you automatically want to listen to. How does that happen? It happens because of your aura. Now, for those of you who are not really familiar with the word aura, A-U-R-A, there's a really simple example for me to put it in perspective for you. There can be two people in a room. One person walks in and they don't even notice him because he has no aura. There can be 1,000 people in a room and one person walks in and everybody looks at him. That's a really beautiful, luminous, beautiful aura. They say that Sri Aurobindo had an aura which was 1 kilometer long. If you came into that radius of 1 kilometer, you could feel Sri Aurobindo even if you didn't know he was around. I had that experience with my guru, Swami Dayanand Saraswati. He could be like half a kilometer away, and if I just saw him, I would start crying because he's so healing. His aura was so beautiful and healing that without even him saying anything or me hearing anything, just looking at him, being in that energy field, I would start crying. And that's what an aura is. That's how strong and beautiful it can be. Now, if you want to have an aura of a leader, you can use the spiritual path. What is the spiritual path? The spiritual path is understanding that your aura can be cleaned, it can be healed, and it can be made powerful by your practice. What do you need to practice? Well, you can have a spiritual practice, which is fine. That's one aspect of it. Whatever you choose, whether you choose Kundalini Yoga, you do meditation, whatever you do, that's fine. But what I want to talk to you about now are these things. One is your honesty. To make a powerful leader, to become a powerful leader that has caliber, you need to be honest. The level of honesty that you live with, the level of integrity that you operate under, that defines the strength of your aura. When you are on the highest level of honesty, you don't cheat, you don't lie, you don't want anything that doesn't belong to you, you get the aura of a lion. You become so strong and powerful that it becomes visible. Your aura, the strength of your aura becomes visible. You can see it in you. The second quality that you need to imbibe is intention. What is your intention? What is the intent with which you're going for a meeting, you're meeting someone, the intention of your action. So if I'm going to teach in a class and if my intention is that at the end of the class, all these 600 students who are there should love me because of the class. They should look at me and say, what a great teacher he is. I've screwed up the class. But if my intention is that I'm going to go up there and I'm going to teach so that people heal, so that people learn something new, and not care whether they like me or not. That's a beautiful intention to have. And with that intention, you never go wrong. Sometimes people get shocked. I was teaching at this festival where there were like 1,000 students and the person who was in charge, and he came running to me and said, sir, I have to introduce you. What are you going to teach about? I said, I have no idea. He said, what? He said, you're going to go and teach like 1,000 students and you have no idea what you're going to teach about? I said, no, I'm just going to go and sit there and decide. That's what I mean. Because the intention is so beautiful. The intention is not for you to like me. The intention is not for you to respect me because of my class. The intention is for me to give you all that I have. When your intention is powerful, you make the most powerful kind of leader that there is. Make a beautiful intention with anything that you're doing, your job, the meeting that you're going for, your relationships. When your intention is clean, it's pure, it's beautiful, you can never go wrong in your life. Next up, compassion. Kindness and compassion is one of the most powerful things that you can have in your armory as a leader. If you have a kind heart, you're compassionate, it flows out of you. People can see it. You cannot act compassionate. You cannot come call somebody and say, oh, here's $1 million, take. If you don't have it in your heart, no matter what you do. You see, the thing is, people think they can fool other people. Maybe you can fool the person, but you cannot fool the other soul. When you walk into a room, the person who's sitting there might get fooled with your with your clothes, with your shoes, with your limited edition watch, but that soul knows what your soul is like. So you can never fool another soul. When your intention is not good, when you're walking into a room with a bad intention, that soul knows and automatically disrespects you. You want to be a powerful leader? Live with pure, clean and good intention. The other thing you need to understand is the importance of wisdom. Idiots don't make good leaders. You want to be a good leader? Learn. I'm talking about wisdom, about life, what life is about, who you really are. The ultimate wisdom is not knowing what the world is about. The ultimate wisdom is knowing what you really are. The day you know yourself is the day the whole world becomes like a mirror to you. That is the kind of wisdom I'm talking about. And what are the 3 ways? There are only 3 ways to get to that level of wisdom. The 3 paths that I like to call it. 1 is traveling. When you travel, every time you go to a new country where you don't know the people, you don't know the place, you don't know the location, you don't know the language, you don't know anything, you don't know the food. The idea is that you're losing yourself to find yourself. So when you travel, every time you go out, you grow. That's one thing that I've loved and embodied in my life. I mean, proof of that is I've been to 65 countries already. And if you think that, 65 countries is a lot, now think about London 25 times, Paris 15 times, Italy 4 times. That's how much I've traveled. The second thing that you have on the path to wisdom is books. When you are reading books, when you are reading a book, what are you seeing? You're seeing the experience of somebody who's researched something for 50 years or 60 years or 70 years and has penned it down in something which you can read within 2 days or 3 days. And the beauty of it is that it doesn't need to be a good experience. It doesn't need to be a good book. Even if it is something which is written which is wrong, it gives you a perspective. What you read can make you grow because you loved it so much and you embody it and you make it a part of you. And if you don't agree with it, it also gives you another perspective of how the way somebody else is thinking. The fact is that the idea of reading itself makes you grow. And the last one on the list, out of the 3 paths to attain wisdom, is the company of the people you keep. The first book that I ever got my hands on in my life was the Dhammapada. And on the second page of the book that I had was, it's better to be in the company of one wise man than to be in the company of 1,000 fools. And guess what? Right from my childhood, I've had friends who've been at least 10 years older than me. I've always had friends who are 10, 20, 30 years older than me. When you are in the company of good people, smart people, intelligent people, wise people, you cannot be otherwise. You automatically grow in that company. So, the last thing that I'm going to talk about that you need to embody as a leader to become a powerful leader is an attitude of gratitude. If you are living with that attitude your whole life, you can never go wrong. You have the gratitude for everything that is good about your life, everything that you have that is perfect, that is good, whatever situation you are in. If you have that gratitude for that situation, right now as I'm recording this, we are in a lockdown. We are not supposed to leave the house, and people are cursing that situation. They're saying, "Oh, I want to go out. I want to be in the garden. I want to be on the beach. I want to be in the sun." I have gratitude for even this situation. I'm thinking, I'm recording these videos, which for the last 9 years, the whole world has been asking me to record. I've never had the time for it. I'm using this time beautifully so that I'm able to do something which I was not able to do for the last 9 years as a teacher. I have gratitude even for being in isolation. That's the level of gratitude you need to live under. Whatever you have is perfect. Whatever you own is enough. When you have that perfect sense of gratitude and well-being, you emanate it, you radiate with it, you glow with it. So, these are the qualities that I think you need to embody to become a leader from the spiritual perspective. Use them, grow from them, and become a powerful leader. God knows we need great leaders. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel Anahat Retreats. There's lots of videos coming out there, and look forward to seeing you again. Tat Nam.